Hello, everyone. Listen, about to start. So, as you know, I need to take my hair down, and I'm going to do that while you guys are logging in and get my headset on. Ponytail holder. Get my fro down. I always like to do this. Oops. Ponytail holder. Wait a minute. Okay, let me get my fro down. Other one down. Off because it's getting the feedback. Let's go. Here we go. There we are. Okay, now as you guys are logging in, and let's get me fluff and fluff because we're going on in about a minute. We're late today. It's the studio, guys. I don't know what to say. I mean, Mark, it's not his fault. He's really just kind of at the mercy of what's happening there. All the programming was behind today, so I'm late getting on. So I apologize. So let's get this fro. Ooh, fun. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put my headset on first, and then once I put that on, then I can get the fro around it. You know how much I love messing up my fro. Oh, okay, my opening is coming on, so guys, we'll be on in a second. Hello, everyone. We're on live today. Hi, I'm Trichologist Lisa Akbari. And if you're tuning in for the very first time, welcome to the show. And as I chuckle, I'm looking at myself online. I am putting my headset on and getting my fro together. And I have this really whimsical look to my fro. It's like spiky and funny, and it's kind of cool. You know, maybe I'll just have some fun with it today. When I go back and look at it later, I'll feel like I need to reach through the screen and pat it down. But welcome to the show today. Happy Sunday. Happy daylight saving time. You know what? I was thinking, I don't want it to get dark this early, but hey, I'm okay because at 6 o'clock this morning, it was light outside. And I am a true early bird, and I like to go to work really early during the week. And so it's dark, and my husband is like, you don't need to go out, it's dark. So now I can go out because it'll be light at 6 o'clock. Okay. All right. But anyway, welcome to the show. I'm really excited about today's show. It's going to be a great show because we're going to talk about something that we can never talk enough about. I mean, we can never talk enough about this because everyone that, especially folks who have natural hair, and even people with long hair or any length hair past 3 inches tend to suffer with this problem. That's right. I'm talking about tangles. We're going to talk about detangling the hair. And then, of course, I'm going to, as always, encourage some folks to get in the industry. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my cosmetology institute. And because of me, some of these natural hair beauties out here who want to get into the industry, I'm going to talk about our natural hair class because that's a pretty big deal. Always hot topic to talk about as it relates to hair. But we've got a great show. We've got a good lineup today of things to talk about. Detangling. I'm just going to go ahead and put my detangling link up right now because I want to make sure that you guys have that link. Let's see here. I'm going to stick it in here, and I hope we're not. My first time viewing. Your first time viewing. Yay! Welcome to the show. Looks like, I think I paused everything on me. Okay, yeah, let me just do some. There we go. I did a mute out. So welcome. It's she said it was her first time on the show. You guys have these wonderful names that I'm like, this is a lady of valor. Oh, cool. I like that. But I'm gonna go on and put my link to uh, my detangling steps part 1 and part 2, and it's actually me detangling my hair. Ooh, It's me detangling my hair, and I think it's pretty cool because you get to see me with working with my own hair, because I say you shouldn't create a tangle so you don't have to remove a tangle. Yeah, but so many people create tangles. So where's the help with that? So that's why I created the detangling video. And I have a product that I absolutely love. It literally melts the tangles away. It's called Hydrating Detangling Souffle. So it's a pretty cool product as well. So I'm really excited about that one. And I use that in the video, but you can use any detangling product like my hair vitamins, my moisturizer. You can use any of those and that could actually help. But the souffle, I call it the cheat product. It's the product that allows you to be able to do these things without actually having to have any effort at all. So, and I have a link. I think I'm gonna put that link up as well to the souffle. My phone lines will be open today. I want to hear from you. If you're having problems with tangles, you or your children, your little girls, if you're having any problems with your hair, if you have an itchy scalp, flaky scalp, tender, you can email me. Please do that. Or you can call my phone line. You can chat with me. I forgot I was on live. You can call my phone line at 901-535-9342. That's 901-535-9342. I also have my 800 number. I don't know who uses 800 numbers anymore, but anyways, I have it here. It's 1-800-503-9342. So it's 1-800-503-9342. And if you want to chat with me, you can go to Lisa Akbari at YouTube, and you can get online. You can see me live with my whimsical fro and my headset pulling it up so it looks like I have an updo. And you can chat with me. And can you purchase your products online? That's what someone is asking. A lady of valor, she's asking that. And yes, you can purchase online. I'm gonna type in my web address, Lisa Akbari.com. Okay, let me make sure I spelled that correctly. AKBARI.com. So I'm going to send that out. So my web address is lisaakbari.com. Really easy, my name. You can put the www in front of it if you like, but I don't think you need to do that anymore these days. So yeah, so you can find my product. I'm also going to go to my website before we get started on a detangling video. I'm going to go to my website and I'm going to get the link to my the hydrating detangling souffle, because I think it's one of my products that I mostly sell to my patients because they have such weak hair. They really don't need to do a detangling session, because actually tangles can cause little microscopic tears on the hair shaft. So we definitely do not want to do that. We don't want to detangle, and if you have hair that's already fragile, you want to really be careful not to have to detangle at all. So let's go into my online store and let's see if we can get that. There we go. We're going to get the link so that we can get you hooked up. So all you have to do is click on the link. So we got let me just kind of tell you how to get there, even if you want to. Yeah, it's in here. If you go on to support products, then you'll see it down at the bottom of the page under support products. And it's the hydrating detangling souffle. And I'm going to put the link up right now. Here he goes. Here he comes. And let's get the name too, because that would definitely help a lot. Let's go back. Let's see here. I'm here. Okay, so my phone lines are open. We are on live now. My phone lines are open at 901-535-9342. That's 901-535-9342. I'm also here. If you want to use an 800 number, you can do so by calling. Oops, I sent that without the other part, guys. You can do so by calling. Oopsie. 1-800-503-9342, and that's 1-800-503-9342. So let's get to our detangling. I'm so excited about the topic. Let's get to our detangling notes so we can see exactly. Let's get some order to it. So, who has not called? Normally, it's our first caller, Mark. Who's Anita? Where's Anita? Anita, you out there? We normally hear from you if we don't hear from anyone. Okay, so let's take a look. First, I want to just say welcome to the show because I'm really happy that you guys are here. It's so crazy. It's dark outside. Can you believe that? But like I said, I much rather this is daylight saving time. It just ended. So I'm really excited that it's light in the morning. I wonder if some of that's going to change. I think it will a little bit. But last week we talked about clarifying the hair and scalp, which I thought was really important because clarifying is just to put the hair in a pure natural state. And really this kind of rolls right into our topic today because if you don't clarify your hair, and I know so many of you are afraid of that, you think it's stripping, but clarify puts the hair, and I explained that last week. Clarifying puts the hair in a pure natural state where stripping removes both natural and unnatural, and clarifying just removes what's unnatural. And you just have to have that pH of 4.5 to 5.5. But as I was about to say, if you don't clarify your hair, then it's really hard to detangle. I know initially your hair feels softer because you're just using conditioners, you're co-washing and you're doing all those kinds of things. But the setback is that it becomes built up on the hair, negative, so it's just really gummy and waxy. If you've ever been to my institute and had an analysis, I've shown you under the microscope that waxy buildup, and it kind of sticks together and it makes the hair even more tangled. So if you don't clarify, you can't detangle. So yeah. So let's talk about what is a tangle? What is a tangle and what does it look like and those kind of things. And that's one of the things I try and show patients under the microscope. And I want to do more of that in 2017 where I'm putting a lot of my microscopic images on the screen, especially when I have this really big, I call it the big fight with co-washing and no pooing. Because I think it's just so crucial because so many people are going bald because of some of this, but that's a whole nother topic. But when I look at tangles under the microscope, what you have is something called, first it starts out with something called webbing. And webbing is where if you could just visualize and kind of get in the mirror and part your hair down the middle. Now imagine the hair on the right side of the part and the hair on the left side of the part. Imagine the hair on the right side going over to the hair on the left and the hair on the left going over to the hair on the right side of the part. And then it just pulls together. And when you try to open it up, it looks like a spider web. So I coined this as webbing. It's because that's what it looks like. So it webs. Now, whenever the danger to webbing is one, it doesn't stay webbed. It does something more advanced. And I'll talk about that in a second. But the webbing you have to kind of remove that. And as you're trying to remove it, it can create tears. Now, the danger to webbing is it advances, as I was about to say. Webbing goes into something called stress points. And stress points go, and that's where the hair starts to ball up into these little balls. And I think you guys call it fairy knots, which is not anything fairy about it. If someone explained to me why y'all call it fairy knots, but if y'all want to explain that to me, you're welcome to do so. But yeah, it's something, it goes into these little balls, so you see them on your ends and they're just everywhere, and it's a problem for you. And then it goes into matting or locking. Now, if you're trying to lock your hair, then that's pretty cool and that's great. But if you're not trying to lock your hair, then that's a problem. Okay, we had a phone call, guys. I'm so sorry. I was really into what I was saying, and I looked over and saw you, and then you disappeared. So if that's you, Anita, call in to say hi, then call back. Or if you have a question for me today, we're talking about tangles. I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor. And for the next 40 minutes, I will be your hair doctor. Let's go to our phone lines. Hi, and welcome to Ask the Hair Doctor. There you are, Anita. My day was wonderful. How about yours? Yes, I missed you. I was like, Anita's not going to call me. That's very good. And we're going to get into a lot of that, but yes, I'll answer that. Okay. You too, Anita. Have a great week. Bye. Okay, Anita wanted to know what's the best thing to do. I think it was two things. One, the conditioner to use, and if you're using a conditioner, is it best to condition before you shampoo, detangle before you shampoo, or detangle? It's definitely, if I have to choose, and if you had to detangle, it's definitely best not to shampoo tangles. So you want to make sure you detangle before, and it's called a hair inspection. So you definitely do that before, but we're going to get into that just a little bit. I want to talk about how do you detangle, what is matting, how can you avoid tangles. So let's just kind of sum all that up, and we're going to include what Anita just asked me as well. First, you let's start with what Anita said. There's something called preparing your hair for your shampooing. And in all of my programs, especially ladies with long hair or natural hair, I always talk about preparing your hair for shampooing. You have to do something called a hair inspection. So first you're going to feel the hair. You're going to feel, and you're going to work your, just not pull through, but just touch and feel. And you're just feeling to see if there are any tangles there. You look for them. And because if you shampoo and you have tangles there, then you're going to create more tangles. Make sense? Yeah. So it's best to do the hair inspection. And the best way to do that is to just touch the hair. Start with your open hand, slide it down your strands, and just feel for the tangles. Then you want to make sure that if you have tangles, you take a leave-in conditioner, and I have one called Hair Vitamins. I'm highly recommending that hair vitamin. And you take your leave-in conditioner and you put the leave-in conditioner on the area where you found the tangles. You found your tangles now because you've done your hair inspection. So you put your leave-in conditioner, hair vitamin on it. And then once you do that, then you are going to have something that's going to give you an opportunity to loosen up that little tangle. You're pressing your forefinger and thumb into that one little tangle, and then you're sliding it straight down. Then you take your human comb, literally break your wrist, like bend your wrist if you run into a tangle. With a rubber or plastic comb, you can't do that because you'll end up pulling it and go, oh my goodness, I broke the hair. I put a tear in the hair. So you take your human comb and you slide through. Don't wiggle. Don't do this. Don't claw at it. Just slide straight through. If you hit a kink, then you close your fingers, or your finger and thumb, or your fingers and thumb, and you slide straight down, and that'll help you to remove that tangle. So that's going to be something that's going to be really important for us to keep in mind when we're looking at tangles. I'm going to put a link up here because your hair inspection is going to be crucial. Because if you do that hair inspection prior to you shampooing, then you will not create more tangles, which is definitely a problem. Okay. And you may have noticed it's hard for me to multitask on some of these things. I mean, I'm a great multitasker at work, but when it comes to like, okay, you've got to type this and keep going there and do that, sometimes I get a little off. So now you know my secret. Okay. So let's go back and let's find, and I'm squinting a little bit too. And this, I'm showing you the one that has the 8-ounce because that's a good starter. But we have the 32-ounce refill of our hair vitamins. And I love hair vitamins. And when I was formulating this product many years ago, one of the things that I was so excited about is that it just works with everything. I mean, you can use it as a re-wet. You can just use it with everything. And so I was just really excited about this product. And so hair vitamins, and that's why I called it vitamin. It was like a vitamin for the hair. We know hair is dead keratinized cells. We know it's not alive, but we want it to look alive. As you can see, my fro shaking with body and movement. That's the cool part about going online and seeing me live, guys, okay? Last week I had my Facebook friends here, and I was excited about that. That was really cool. Okay, and they just came through, so many of them, but today I didn't do that. I think I used all my memory, my phone doing that. Okay, so first, in how do you detangle? You start with the hair inspection. Then I have the detangling video so you can watch it. Then you always make sure that you take the hair and section it for control. Now, how do you determine whether you how you section? You section for control by sectioning it based on the length of your hair. If you have 3-inch hair, you know you're not going to put a lot of sections there. You won't have as many tangles because the tangles actually have to come from the S shape or the length. In other words, if you have a natural head of hair and that hair is 1/4 of an inch long or 1/2 an inch long, then you don't have the full S. But if you have 3 inches of hair, you've got the S, and then not only is the S there, but it's crossing over and it's locking or tangling or matting or webbing with the hair, its neighboring hairs. So you want to make sure that you section. If you have 3 or more inches of hair, you start thinking about the section. The longer the hair is, then you might think that the more sections you do, but actually the fewer sections. So if you have long hair, like to your shoulders, you can do 2 sections. If you have long to your shoulders but natural, you might have to do 4 sections. So the length of the hair and the shape of the hair. So if it's straight hair or if it's and long, and if it's natural hair and it's long, then you have to adjust based on that. All right, so once you've sectioned, then you use your vitamins first because you're trying to do the inspection, and then you put additional ones on each section, and it's fingers and thumb. Now, when you're styling your hair, you have to, that's when I work with a detangling souffle, but the vitamins will be sufficient prior to shampooing. Now, the one thing to avoid tangles is to shampoo properly. You're not creating tangles. So avoiding tangles, your technique of shampoo. There are 2 things you're trying to clean here. You're trying to clean your hair and you're trying to clean your scalp. So then you do those separately. It sounds crazy, but it doesn't take more time. This is one of the ways to avoid tangling your hair. So you're taking your hands and you're going under the hair until you touch your scalp, and you shampoo scalp, and then you come straight out, and then you shampoo hair. So you're rubbing on top of the hair. So you won't be pushing the hair. Most people push their hair into their head and they end up tangling and matting the hair. And so then they have to detangle. So you've sectioned for control. You prepared your hair for shampooing. Now you're shampooing under the hair to shampoo scalp, shampooing on top, sliding the hand straight down to shampoo hair. And I put the detangling link. And you can email me, lisa@lisaakbari.com. And I'm also going to put my email address up there as well. But for the folks who's listening to me by radio, it's LISA at LISA. And then there's 2 A's in there together, akbari.com. So that's LISA at LISAAKBARI.com. And I'll put that up there so you can email me. So if you're just listening to me and you're not online right now, you're driving in your car or you're somewhere where you can't get to your computer, or your smartphone could actually give you the hookup, then you can just email me if you can. So I'm going to put my email address there. That's Lisa at LisaAkbari.com. So Lisa at LisaAkbari.com. That's me. Okay. All right. So if we have any questions, you're welcome to tune in and ask those questions. If you're tuning in just for the first time, I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, and I'm going to be your hair doctor for the next 30 minutes and beyond. It's up to you. Actually, it's going to be a little more than 30 because we came on late today. So maybe 37 minutes. And we're talking about hair, as we do always. We're talking about hair, and we're talking about more specifically about tangles. How is it where we have these tangles? How do we get rid of them? How do we prevent them? I mean, that's our topic for today. So you can call me if you have a question for me. It's 1-800-503-9342. That's 1-800-503-9342, or you can call me at 901-535-9342. That's 901-535-9342, or my chat room is open and I'll answer all your questions. Oh, here's a question for me, and it's from Tiara Banks. She said, "Hi, Dr. Akbari. Thanks so much for sending the link about." Oh yeah, you asked about the Trichology school. Yeah, I was just doing a happy Sunday. I just opened my email box this morning. Wow. Between the church, I really did quiet time at home today, and I spend this time just listening to the word. I mean, it's just so powerful. And so I opened my email box and I just got busy with that a little bit too. So yes, I did that. I'm guilty. Okay, but yes, so you emailed me about this. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I definitely want you to think about this. I wanted to just to spin right into that. Ms. Banks asked about our trichology program for a cosmetologist. She's a cosmetologist. It's always wonderful to have our cosmetologists to come in and tune in and listen in, because I think they're important. Because I always think about what I can do, but I think about what you can do as a cosmetologist. There's so much that you can do. I may see one patient at a time, and you guys have hundreds and thousands of clients that have these problems. So I think it's really important for cosmetologists to get this education, this continuing ed, this advanced education. So my Trichology program is a program that will offer that. So I'm going to put a link up in just a second about the Trichology program. You had another, so does tangles mean that the pH is off and the cuticles are open? Very good. You're not too far from the answer. The tangles, when you have tangles, your hair, it's not so much as the pH. The pH could be off slightly, but there could mean that the pH itself is, you're using a product that has a high, super high pH, or something that has a super low pH, and the hair has become dehydrated. When the hair is dehydrated or dry out, then the actual cuticle itself will become torn and worn. And so when that happens, it's very hard to keep your porosity where it should be, equal, and so you tangle more. So cuticle damage, cuticle tangles come from a damaged cuticle, or from the response the cuticle has to whatever's happening, whether it's with longer hair, straight, longer hair, natural, or natural hair or straight hair. It doesn't matter. So you have something there, but it's not quite the correct answer. You definitely want to stay with shampoos. And it's really your shampoo is the one you want to really watch with your pH more than the others, because that's your cleanser. So with your shampoos, you want to stay at a pH of 4.5 to 5.5, which is the pH of the hair and scalp. And then you want to look at products that are clean. You want to make sure that nothing's causing that negative buildup on the hair. So that's really what I like to say about that. But thank you so much for that question. In our Trichology program, that new class starts, it's online, so no matter where you are in the world, you can join this program. It's January 2017, so we're really excited. Email me if you want more information about that. I'll be happy. And again, I'm going to try to post a link. Okay, so hi Cheryl, you have a question for me. You said, "Hello, Dr. Akbari, what is a clarifying conditioner? Is it good for natural hair?" Well, to be honest, there's no such thing. Yes, I said it. There's no such thing as a clarifying conditioner. It's a total contradiction. In order to clarify the hair, you have to have cleansers. And there's two things that you're doing with your hair that's very strong for your care program. It must include cleaning, and it must include conditioning. Cleaning, you must have a clarifier. Clarifying meaning to put at a pure natural state. Then that clarifier must put your hair at that, and scalp at that pure natural state without causing it to strip or dehydrate. So it must have a pH between 4.5 to 5.5, which is the pH of the hair and scalp. Your conditioner is something very separate, very different, has this fully as important. Your conditioner is something that you would use to strengthen the hair and hydrate the hair. So there's a delicate protein and moisture level within the hair stay balanced. So your conditioner will have to give you that. You want protein for strength, moisture for hydration. So it's crucial. It's crucial for that. So when you think about fine conditioner, it's something that is out there now. I understand that, but it's just not something that's really real, or it's not really fair to you as a consumer or even as a professional, because it's not going to really happen. You're either conditioning your hair or you're cleaning your hair. If you have hydrating shampoos, or now they're calling them clarifying shampoos, they're basically shampoos that are just detangling, softening. They're not cleaning. So you can't really even call them a shampoo. And I know it's really hard and a lot of people won't believe me, but that's okay. But it's what's important is the science behind it. It totally makes no sense. I'm so ready to be challenged with that. I have no problem with that. You're welcome to just blow my email up with articles and studies and research and images, microscopic images. You're welcome to do that. And I will go to bat with you and just help you, and you will talk me down or I will talk you down, and we will just have a great love fest with this thing. Okay? Because that's what it's about. This show is about spreading a special kind of love for women with their hair, because a show like mine would, most people would think, hair, I mean, what's the big deal? Well, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal for women. It's a big deal. And I think it's time for us to get the right answers. I have all the answers? Heck no. But I do have a piece of this that God has blessed me with. It's like my hands are open, and it's not open to just get, it's open to give. And that's what I'm doing here today. And that's what I want to do. So it kind of angers me, and I go on these little talks when I hear things like clarifying conditioner, but I do thank you very much for that. But it's just not fair to you as a consumer for someone to say that you can clean and condition your hair at the same time, because it's just not possible. It's just not possible. Okay, guys. All right. My phone lines are open if you're just tuning in today. Thank you so much for that question, though, because it's really something worth talking about. We really should just have more conversations about these things, because these are things that you believe and that you wonder and you're asking about. But if you're just tuning in, I'm Trichologist Lisa Akbari. Today we're talking about detangling and whatever you like to talk about if it relates to your hair and scalp. My phone lines are open at 901-535-9342. I'm here live at the WDIE studios, in the WDIE studios and iHeartRadio. I loaded up group of folks listening to me. I mean, it's loaded up. I have a ton of folks listening to me and looking at me online. My phone lines have been kind of quiet today. I'm chatting away with some folks. Thank you guys so much for your chats. This is a great show, and I'm so thankful and humbled by this show and being able to do it. Earlier, I was talking about something as it relates to our schools. Some of the folks who've asked me a lot about joining our school and how do you get to be involved in, and really they're not interested in cosmetology, but they're interested in natural hair. So our natural hair class is one I'm pushing a lot these days. So if you want to join and enroll in our natural hair class, I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's the Cosmetology Institute, the Lisa Akbari Cosmetology Institute. We have a 12,000 square foot facility. It's really, really an exciting place to be. People are really wonderfully nice and kind to you. Our programs are great. We're doing something called boot camp now with our students to help them to pass the boards. And we're just doing all kinds of things. And it's a great class, and it's a quick class. It's a quick opportunity to go through something and really have a license so that you can practice as a natural hair stylist. And it's affordable. We work with payment plans. We do all kinds of wonderful things. So it's really great. So if you're interested, you can email me, lisa@lisaakbari.com. You see my email address right there. Or you can call our institute at 380-4445. Okay, let's get back to our chat room. We've got some questions loading up here. It says, can seborrhea dermatitis or seborrheic dermatitis, it's like tomatoes or tomatoes, can be in the scalp? If so, what can one use to help with this? I am natural and my scalp is very thick and I really want to resolve it. First, I need to know, is this a diagnosis from your dermatologist or if it's something that you just feel like you might have? As you're answering that, then I'm going to talk about what seborrheic seborrheic dermatitis is. It's inflammation of the sebaceous glands, the oil glands. So they're inflamed. So this is an overactive also. So we need to see that. If you're overactive, your glands are overactive, you've got this diagnosis, and it's a problem with irritations, and like I said, you're overactive, your glands, so you now have seborrheic or seborrheic dermatitis, then yes, it's something that you want to have diagnosed, and there's a medication that you can get from your dermatologist. It's really important that you follow that, but you also need to offset this by doing things like keeping your moisture levels up, taking care of your scalp, because one of the things that we're concerned about is that when you use medicated shampoos and different medications for your skin and your hair, it tends to dry out the hair. So we have to be careful to keep that balance. So if you email me and you talk about the medication you're on, I can help you with a program to offset that, because you really, really want to clarify the hair and you really want to balance the hair when you're doing that. But seborrheic dermatitis, there's natural approaches to it. I feel comfortable with saying that, but it's a scalp disease. So if you have or suspect that you have seborrheic or seborrheic dermatitis, then you definitely need to see your dermatologist to have that diagnosis and the medication to treat that. Okay. All right. Our phone lines are open at 901-535-9342. That's 901-535-9342. Okay, and my chat room is open. I have another question that's right behind there. Miss Banks, you're asking, if my hair tangles often, would my porosity have anything to do with it? Well, it's kind of like this, Miss Banks. What happens is a process to it. Generally, when you suffer from tangles, it's like a sign that there are some other problems, like there are tears in the hair shaft. So the hair strand, somewhere along the strand, most likely there's something called chronic split ends. When you have chronic split ends, then you are going to have a problem with tears. That means your cuticle is going to be open. If your cuticle is open, then there is definitely a porosity issue, because you have to have a nice tight cuticle in order to have good porosity. So it's going to be crucial for you to get healthier hair. So you want to start with deep conditioning. So to answer to your question, is the porosity, would that affect the porosity, or does the porosity have anything to do with it? Yes. It's a part of it. When your hair is damaged, then you get the tears, then you develop porosity issues. In other words, your hair cannot absorb its moistures and retain it. It absorbs everything really quickly, or it absorbs it and it dissipates, or it won't absorb it at all. And usually what I'm finding more and more, when it won't absorb it at all, it's because of a negative buildup. So I know that sounds crazy, but the people who have these really super tight cuticles and can't absorb products, those are folks who are usually generally Asian, really straight, naturally straight hair. They're usually not women with natural kinky hair, because that hair is not going to have a really tight cuticle. It's going to have a cuticle that's pretty more, if you take care of your hair, you're going to have more of an equal porosity than anything. You won't have high or low. You'll just have an equal porosity. So it's just something that you just really have to be careful with in terms of how you really are taking care of your hair. Do we have somebody behind us? No, that's just Mark moving around over there. Okay. All right. So Let's see. I feel I might have an issue with this. And then it said, okay, thank you. And then another one says, thanks. I picked up a clarifying conditioner by mistake. I used it, but my hair didn't feel right afterwards. I will not be using it again. Thank you so much for your time and advice. God bless you. And I'm so thankful that you didn't get mad at me because I was really coming on strong with that one. So thank you, Cheryl, for not getting upset with me and knowing that I love you guys. Mwah, and that I want to make sure that you get it. And some things like that, when you talk about clarifying conditioners, oof, it just kind of gets to me. Okay, no, that makes perfect sense. Thank you and thanks. Okay, guys. All right, so we are moving right along, and let's go back because I have a lot of questions, some email questions I want to kind of get to. But guys, I'm gonna have you right there if you want. The phones have been awfully quiet today. I'm really surprised about that, but that's okay. No worries. I'm chatting away with you guys, and I want to get to. My hair looks like a ball today. This is the thing. If I look at myself too much on this, I'm going to start picking at my hair. Y'all know me. The folks who see me all the time, you know how I am about my hair. But I love you guys so much. I have the most absolute fun with y'all when I'm online. I have learned not to be so stiff and rigid at work. So you'll be happy. I had a patient to tell me, said, the first time I came to you, you were so stiff and so rigid. And I'm like, oh my God. She said, now I look at you on YouTube and you're having so much fun, but now you're doing that here. I said, if you were rigid today, I was going to ask you for a hug. And I was saying, thank you. You need to ask me for a hug. So if you ever see me out and I'm stiff and rigid and all robot, you say, hey, come on, you need a hug, and then give me one. Okay. All right. So here's a question. Well, I want to address about matting. What is matting? Someone asked, what is matting? Matting is just like one step. It's between the webbing, tangle, excuse me. It's between tangle and locking. So matting, you can generally get a loose. Locking, wow, there's been some folks who get locks loose, and that's pretty cool, but it tears the cuticle up terribly. But matting is just where the hair has gone from webbing. Remember, I talked about the spider web look, where you're pulling apart and you see the hair just kind of connecting here on the right side, here on the left side, crossing over to his neighboring hair. And then you have the tangles or stress points, and then you have that tangle. So tangle really is after webbing. Tangle, stress points where it balls up into the little balls, and then it goes into a mat where it's really tight in there. So it's just a larger, what I call stress point, where the stress of it is where the hair is stressing out, and you're trying to detangle, but it's really pulling, and it's forced elasticity. So the elasticity that the hair should have, it's forcing it to have more than it has. So it's really hard for it. So when you mat, it's one step from locking. So the hair is really balled up, and all of the hairs are horizontal, vertical, diagonal, and they're just closing up. I'm going to close this door in the studio because it's noisy. There we go. That's why they have soundproof doors. But my husband came in the studio with me today, and he likes the door open so he can hear me talking, so he can critique the show. But that's so wonderful. We've been married 100 years, so we can. So we'll turn on the sound in the sound room next door, and then he can hear it. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go to our question. Let's see if we've got something on the chat room. Yeah, we do. It says one questions. She said, can you recommend a dermatologist in Memphis or in the surrounding area? Yeah, I probably email me and I will try and help you out with that. Email me, lisa@lisaakbari.com, and you have my email address, and then I will see if I can help you out with recommending someone. I have a few, like Dr. Jackson was one of the ones, the dermatologist I recommended local. Dr. Gibbs, I've worked with him. Dr. Woodbury, and there's some other doctors as well. But Dr. Jackson moved away to California. Dr. Gibbs is still here. I don't know if he's quite retired yet. And so, I mean, anyways, so just email me and we'll see what we can do, because I just want to ask a few questions, because some really seem to, they all specialize in the skin, the disease of the skin, this and its appendages. But let's just see what your problem is. Okay. Now, the next question is from Karen. Hi, Karen. I am on the Get the Length program. I can see a huge difference. Yay! Good for you, Karen. Keep the emails coming. That's the thing about the Get the Length. It's kind of like, and I know we all adults, but I'm going to say it because it's the first thing that came to my mind. It's kind of like you taking your baby and you're holding their hand and you're saying, okay, we're going to walk across the street together. And that's what I feel like with my Get the Length patients, clients, and customers. I feel like I got to grab your hand and hold your hand. So if you're doing well, super. If you need me, let me know. Email me and we can just chat and we can have all kinds of good time. Yay, I'm so glad to hear that. All right, so let's go. We have a little time left. We're doing well. Let's go back to our questions. My computer is so full. I've got so many windows open. Here we go. All right, so okay, question. Are detangling shampoos something that I should use on my little girl? She seems to tangle easily, and I don't know what to do. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but I want to touch it a little bit more. Detangling shampoos don't clean. The thing is, they're saying that they detangle, and that is true. That is the benefit of using them, but they don't clean. The problem is it's short term. I'm thinking okay, there. I had to get my phone together because I think I have some calls and I haven't noticed because it's a glare. But anyways, the hair is not clean. They use these fillers in detangling shampoos. So they turn into a conditioner. So the hair is soft. The hair does not tangle. The hair seems to be hydrated. And those are the things, and I say seem to be because it feels soft, but the problem is it's short-lived. So over a period of time, you start having breakage and you wonder why. You start having problems with the hair feeling kind of gummy in some cases. It depends on how dense the fillers are. So I wouldn't recommend it. I recommend you use leave-in products to detangle. I also recommend that you get a technique of shampooing and conditioning and dressing the hair for bed and things like that that will prevent you from having these problems with the tangles in the first place. So that's what I would say. All right, next question. I was always taught to gently comb through a tangle, starting at the top of the head and work my way down. Is that true? No, that is not true. That is not something you should do. That's a pretty old one. The newest one is start at the bottom and work your way up. And I kind of bought into that for many years until I conducted a study on what it does and watched the strands under the microscope, and I looked at all the tears and those kinds of things. But basically you want to take and find the tangles and put your leave-in product on the tangle, press your finger into the tangle and slide your finger straight down. But no, you don't want to comb because you're going to create microscopic tears. I don't care how large the comb is. I don't care how much you gently rake. It's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to eventually, it's problematic. It could eventually cause some problems with you tearing the hair shaft, which is a problem. Since we closed the door, Mark, it's a little warm, right? So I'm good. Okay. All right. So the next question was, should you detangle hair before you shampoo? That's great. That question was Anita. I think we answered that one. You should definitely do the hair inspection. And you should definitely make sure that you're really careful to not shampoo tangles. You want to make sure you do the hair inspection, make sure your hair is free of tangles before you shampoo. Okay, I want to get to our hair news because it's a pretty big deal, this one. The next question is, I have a teenager who loves to wear his hair in cornrows. The only problem is his hair seems to tangle a lot when he takes them down every 2 weeks. What do you suggest we do? Should I have him wear a different style? No, you shouldn't have him wear a different style. I think the flat cornrows is a pretty cool style for young teenagers, even women, men, and whatever, whoever wants to wear it. I think that the dressing for bed is his issue, and also the shampooing and conditioning. I will send you a program on how to shampoo on top of your flat cornrows. If you email me, lisa@lisaakbari.com, and I'll recommend all the products for that. But let me tell you what happens. The dressing for bed, you have to make sure that you spray, the vitamin would be one, into the hair, right into the cornrows, and squeeze it into the cornrows. If this is somebody with super long hair, then you need to put the souffle into the cornrows, the point of it, and just stick it in there and squeeze the bottle, and then squeeze the cornrow. And you go down. If most people have about 6 or 9 cornrows, you go down each cornrow and do that. And then you put your hydrations, a moisturizer that's going to really raise that moisture level up. You squeeze that down each cornrow, making sure you get the ends too. And then you're going to seal all that with the oil sheen in a jar. So that's something you do. And then tie it down. You know, they use the do-rags, but make sure it's the one that have, I love that name, do-rag. Make sure you use the ones that have that, like nylon or shiny fabric, so that you won't dehydrate your hair. Take away those cotton bandanas, because they tend to dehydrate the hair. All right, so in hair news, yay! Hair news, L'Oreal was sued for $5 million after a woman alleges that her hair relaxer caused her hair loss and baldness. L'Oreal is the subject of a new lawsuit. Well, this lady claimed that a hair manufacturer by the let me just read this again. After a woman claimed a hair relaxer manufactured by that company left her partially bald. Now, L'Oreal, Miss Taylor says in the lawsuit that the product left her with bald spots, burns, blisters, and scabs on her scalp. She's suing for more than $5 million in damage. Wow. And the product was a Optimum Legend No Mix, No Lie relaxer, a hair relaxer that is marketed to African American women under the Soft Sheen Carson brand. The relaxer's packaging promises fullness, silkier hair for $9.99. This lawsuit comes 1 month after a class action lawsuit was filed against L'Oreal on behalf of 100,000 women who alleged that the company's relaxer burned their scalp. See, okay, here's the deal, guys. I'm just not gonna blame the company for that. And I have to tell you why. I want you to have whatever you have. And I blame the company in part because I think that if you're going to use something like, I'm two ways here. I'm not going to blame him fully, but I'm going to blame him in part. If you're going to use something that's that strong, a chemical, you need to put a tremendous amount of money in education. You need to have some DVDs, some CDs, or something, because we're selling these chemicals out here on the market. I don't. I make one, but I do not unless you my company, and maybe I'm small enough to do this, but my company, you have to be a licensed cosmetologist to purchase it. Many individuals have asked, could you purchase my relaxer? And then you have to take a class from me and be certified. My employees, my stylists who work in my salons who want to use chemicals have to go through a certification in order and pass a practical test in order to use my relaxers. That's where I have a problem with companies who make relaxers. They must educate the professionals and they must not sell it to consumers. Now, that's a lot of money to sell to consumers, and consumers are happy to buy it. But that's why you guys are getting burned, because you're using something that you've, You're using something you don't know anything about. It's a chemical. You know how to put it on because you put it on, but you don't know what the dangers to it. You have to know how to prepare the hair for that chemical. So your hair and scalp has to be certain health. You have to know how to remove that chemical properly. You have to have clear water rinses because microscopic traces can be left on the neck, can be left on the scalp, can be left somewhere. You can't always see the relaxer because it just goes into this microscopic trace, and you have to know how to rinse that. You have to know how to treat the hair and scalp after it's been rinsed. You have to know how to treat and condition the hair. You have to clarify it. You have to realign it to its own pH. I mean, it's a lot involved. No, I don't. I blame the company, but you guys stop buying them. This is why we have this revolution. And I don't want to say all natural people want to be natural because of they're afraid of relaxers, but I want to say about 90% of the ladies who move away from relaxers that I treat are moving away because of the damage. The rest of us just want to be natural. Okay, 10%. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to throw it out there. So no, I couldn't be a good witness for this one. Okay. All right. So we have another question. It said, okay, let's try to get those in before we run out of time. We said, all righty. We've had several on the chat. And the phone lines have been quiet. If I get a strand reading, will you provide the hair type, porosity, etc.? With the strand reading, I speak more of the talk more of the condition of the strand itself, like if there's an exposed cortex, if there's poor elasticity, if the layers are peeling. I'm very specific, and I use microscopic images. The other thing that I could do for you, you could just request some extra things. Like I can talk about type, I talk about porosity, but I talk about dehydration. I use it instead of porosity, I use other terms. But yes, ask specifically about your porosity. Absolutely, yes, we can provide that information as well. Can you use a detangling brush to help with tangles? You should never remove tangles with a brush, a comb, or even your fingers in terms of like pulling through. You should use fingers and thumb to press conditioner in to that tangle and smooth through. I have my detangling video. Please, please, please look at it, because let me go up here and I'm going to resend, because that was like the first thing I sent out. I'm going to resend that because I want you guys to please, please look at that detangling video, because this is going to help you. And hopefully I can get it back in here. Oopsie. Didn't do that right. Show chat. Okay, let's go back to the chat. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay, live now. I'm doing all kinds of things that I shouldn't, guys, and we're running out of time. Okay, we have 3 minutes left as Mark holds up his hand to let me know. Okay, now let's see if I can get that on there. Yeah, yay. Okay, so look at that video. Okay, just look at it and email me, and then we can go back and forth until you really get this detangling thing down. If you've suffered with chronic split ends or tangles, how do you know when it's beyond repair and it's time for a haircut? Outstanding question. You have in my book, Every Woman's Guide to Beautiful Hair, and you should definitely get it. That's my cyber reading that I'm barely doing right now. I have a chapter called To Trim or Not to Trim. That's the question. You have two options with split ends. You have, and I think we're going to talk about split ends pretty soon. Next week, we're going to talk more about split ends. You have to treat them or you have to trim them. If you don't treat them, then you have to trim them. All hair is dead protein, dead keratinized cells. It's dead. So when your hair emerges from your scalp, it's dead. So you can treat those ends or you can trim them. I have products to treat those ends. Hair vitamin is again one of them. Our Moisture Plus is another. But the main thing is you've got to deep condition, and you need to do that once a week. And if you have like a breakage, you can twice a week. Too far gone, it's usually I'm in the business, I always say I'm in the business of helping you grow hair, not to cut it away, but you have to determine whether you want to treat those ends, because you really do have to treat them. Before I go, I want to talk again about my school, because my school is going to be an opportunity for so many people who want to get into the industry. And I want to talk about it every week, because they get into the industry and really do great things in the industry. So please call me at 901-380-4445 if you're interested in our natural hair program or our Trichology school. And call me or email me, lisa@lisaakbari.com. It's time for me to go, guys. I'm trichologist Lisa Akbari, your hair doctor. Thank you so much. Next week, we're going to talk about split ends. Yay. And we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or have a wonderful week. Love you. Okay, guys, it's time to go now. I love you guys. Bye-bye. See you guys next week. Make sure you email me. Okay? See you guys next week, all right? All right. Have a wonderful day. To God be the glory in Jesus. Yay.